Today we have a showdown, a tool duel per se, against two of the most hated items I think I've ever brought to this channel. I mean, it's truly quite amazing how much hate these have received. Today we got the Milwaukee IA, some people know them as Milwaukee, going up against the Dewalt Tool. What's up everybody, my name is Clint. Welcome to the Tool Review Zone channel. After a year of abuse, we have the Milwaukee going up against the Dewalt, but what are they? Well, earbuds. So about a year ago, I posted the Milwaukee earbuds and they're pretty cool. We'll talk about the features I like about this and some of the things that I don't. And then I posted about 6 months ago, the Dewalt earbuds, and both of these have taken so much abuse online, mostly me. I've taken a lot of abuse online. And I think some of the abuse is founded and I think some of the abuse is, well, just overboard and quite ridiculous. I think some of the issue is some of the commenters that are leaving the hate on these don't really understand who they're made for. But at the same time, I understand sort of where they're coming from. So let's look at the Milwaukee IA first. Then we'll jump over to the Dewalt. We'll talk about what I like and what I dislike about these. So as mentioned, these came out about a year ago for the Milwaukee IA earbuds. Now, the issue that I've always had with these were the price, sitting at $179. Now, don't get me wrong, the Apple AirPod Pro 2, I think is like $249. Just spit all over the place. They're like $249, so definitely a little bit more expensive, but what people need to realize is that these and these, they are not meant for, you know, joggers or people riding bikes or just sitting in the office. These are built for people that are in the trades, construction, maybe out in the shop area, the construction site, people that wear gloves. Yeah, that's right. So let's go ahead and open up this case first. Now, some of the main pushback when it comes to the Milwaukee IAs, again, the price, and number two was the size of these. What some of the commenters stated was, well, I can go to the checkout aisle in Walmart and find something at $30 and way smaller. But the problem is you don't want something smaller when you're out on the job site. You see, when I put this in my ear and I got the gloves on, I want to be able to push buttons and do what I need to do with the bulky gloves on my man hands. The size is not the issue that I have with these. What's cool about these is, like I mentioned, when you put these in your ear, I'm gonna be able to push the button and I'm gonna be able to turn these on. I'm gonna be able to skip a song. I'm gonna be able to bring a song back and listen to it again. I can hang up on somebody. I can turn on my active hearing. So if I'm in an environment where I need to hear people talking, but I'm jamming out to a Tool Review Zone video, well, I can push this button here and it activates the active sound. And then if I push it twice, it turns that up, and I hit it 3 times, it turns it up. So it's all digital, and what's really cool about this is they're really simple to use. It's just a press of the button to fast forward or skip, rewind, hang up. You can hit the button, say, call this person, and you can talk right through these to that person. So you don't even have to pick up your phone, you can talk. There's little earbuds, little microphones built right into these things, and you're gonna be able to hear people and you're gonna be able to talk to people. Now, the other issue that I had with these is that a lot of the times when I'm talking to somebody, they say that these aren't the best sounding. Now, what I do wanna let you know is if you are out in a windy environment or you're on a bike or, you know, an excavator or whatever you're doing, if there's a lot of wind being pushed, doesn't matter what brand you have, that's gonna give you that issue. You're gonna hear the wind being picked up and then shot out through the line to the other person. I'm showing my age, it's technically not a line. I think it's like, you know, digital internet stuff. I don't know. Whatever it is, real nice like. The other issue that I have with this is that sometimes, even though these are completely cleaned off, they'll charge. So I can put this one in here and this one here is drained. So I can put that in there. You can see it's turning red, but the electrodes, sometimes, even if I clean them, they don't always pick up. So I have to close the case and unlock it and sort of open it up again, and then they charge up again. But sometimes, see, it stopped right here. And I just cleaned these. You can see there's no charging going on right here. So it's a fuss sometimes. Now you can see this one's clearly charging. This one here, you can see, let me see, where is this at? You can see it's green. This is a full battery right here. For $179, this should not be happening. And it's actually kind of frustrating. Come on. Come on. Now, when these were working perfectly, what I really like about this is, even though this case is larger and it's harder for this thing to be lost, right? Because it is pretty large and red and it stands out. What I'm saying is this case right here holds a 4-volt red lithium battery. So when this thing is charging using a C port, it will charge this right here, and then it'll charge these up. So it doesn't have to be plugged in all the time. What I like about this is that if this is dead, say I'm using these all day and all night, I can take this out and just swap this out with another 4-volt, and I don't have to worry about waiting around for these things to charge. And as far as it goes with listening to things, so if I were to put this in, they connect very easy to my phone. I use a Samsung. I've had other people say that they use these on Apple and had no issues hooking these things up at all. The sound is actually pretty clear. Got a nice bass. You can adjust the treble, the bass, all that good stuff on here, the equalizer with these. The problem is that you can't turn them up that loud. Now, a lot of people might say, well, you don't want them up real loud on the job site. But if I'm using these, I'm not always using them on the job site. I just want to jam out to a tool review zone video. I want to crank these things. They only let you go so high, and they leave you wanting more. So again, the bass, the treble, everything sounds good, but it just stops, and you want to be able to adjust this thing, and it just won't let you. The other thing is, I like it, it's the digital. You just like double press this and it'll turn the volume up, or you can turn it up through your phone or whatever you want to do. I just want more. I want to be able to turn that volume up. But as far as it goes with the active listening, if I were to listen to music and somebody comes up and I come over and I just press this one here, I can adjust that sound and listen to somebody talk to me at the same time I hear something else going on. So it works very well with that. As far as it goes with the runtime on this, I'm just gonna tell you straight out, not as good as the Dewalts. These things here, you'll get hours of runtime with them, but I've noticed that these go dead way faster than the Dewalts do. And as far as it goes with the Wi-Fi, you get about 100 feet of really good connection between this and your phone. However, if you start putting walls in between you, or you get to about 150 feet, they really start falling apart. Where the Dewalts, we'll talk about that here in a bit, they do a little bit better. So let's move it over to the Dewalt real quick, and we'll talk about that and we'll do a wrap up here. So the Dewalt, basically the same setup, except for the case is much smaller, and I do like that they added this lanyard hook right here. You can also see up on top, that's where your C port's gonna go. You're gonna be able to charge the case, and then this will last a while. So if you're listening to your earbuds, you put them in, you have them in for a day, throw them back in the case, and this case will charge everything back up. You have some LED lights up on the top here that'll light up, and it'll tell you you got 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar. You might need to recharge that case when you start getting down to the 2 or the 1 bar. Now the whole setup when it comes to the Dewalt earbuds, again, the same, but a lot more analog going on here. You have, I think, a little better control, if you ask me, when it comes to these earbuds. Now, as much as I like the Milwaukees, they're a little bit bigger up on top, and you can push those buttons and they do everything. What's nice about this is that you have this basic analog scroll wheel, and you're able to adjust the volume or your active listening on these simply by doing this, and it works very well. And why I like these is because if you do have gloves on, well, you're gonna be able to just twist that, and it works very, very good. Now again, with these, they are larger than what you would get from Apple or Samsung. But again, there's a reason for that. These are for people that have the gloves on and need that larger setup. You can't always go to your phone if you're welding and scrolling through your phone. You're just able to do everything right from these earbuds, and I like that. And even though other earbuds allow you to do certain things like that, these are larger so you can control it easier. It's textile. That's a big word. Now, as far as it goes with the Muzak, just like I mentioned with the Milwaukee, if you are operating these in a windy environment, they're gonna pick up. You're gonna hear the wind, and the person on the other end of the line is not gonna be real happy with you. However, I will tell you that the people that I do talk to through this, compared to this, are much happier. I have heard many comments saying these sound much better than these when you're talking to somebody. It's just not as clear as the Dewalt. So from what I'm told, the Dewalt sound much better on the other end of the line. The other thing I really like about the Dewalt is that they're cheaper at $116 on sale compared to the $179 from the Milwaukee IA. And again, I'll leave everything in a link in the description below or attached to the shopping bag on the bottom left-hand side of this video. What I don't like about the Dewalts is the little push button here. The push button is depressed and a little too small. So if I do have gloves, or even when I'm not wearing gloves and I try to push that in, sometimes I'm not always hitting the button. So if I want to hang up a phone call, or if I wanted to skip a song or whatever, it's not letting me do what I need to do. I feel like I'm not able to feel that button. So I'm not a fan of that. I like that the Milwaukees, their surface area is much larger and I'm able to do it much easier. So that is the one issue with the Dewalt. But going back to sound quality, they sound amazing, and you can turn these up louder than you can with the Milwaukee. So if I'm jamming out to a tool review zone video, I want to hear it louder, I have more control over how loud I want my audio to be compared to the Milwaukee, where they really limit you. Now, I know some people are gonna say, well, if you're using these on the job site, you shouldn't be blaring them anyway, and I agree, but I'm not always using these on the job site. If I wanna go for a bike ride or a jog, or, okay, let's be honest, that's not happening. But if I wanted to, I wanna be able to control the sound of my music, and if I wanna blare it in my ears, I should be able to blare it in my ears. As far as it goes with them being bigger than the Milwaukee, well, yes and no. The Milwaukee is a little bit thicker up on top, it's like a mushroom, and the Dewalts are a little bit thicker down on the base, a little thinner up on top. So they're both pretty large earbuds, but again, that's the point of these. Very strange to me sometimes how upset people get on tool videos. I've never felt that I got that upset over a product video to leave some of the comments that these people leave. It's very strange. So let's do a real quick recap. As far as it goes with the case, a lot of people say it's too big and bulky. I like it because it's harder to lose. I love that you can charge this up using your C port. I do have some issues with this charging. Not all the time, but sometimes I have to clean those contacts constantly. Even then, still have some issues. Another huge issue for me has always been the price at $179 for these things, but I do like that you get the 4-volt battery, and that's why they cost a little bit as much as they do. However, it's still excessive. I wish that they were louder, and well, that's really about it. They've been pretty good. As far as it goes with the Dewalt, I think that they did a better job than Milwaukee on their earbuds. Yeah, as far as it goes with the Dewalt earbuds, what I really like about this is that you do have some analog on here. I don't find it to be as easy to use as the Milwaukee IAs. You know, the button, the press button here, it's kind of a pain in the butt to push this all the time. But I do like that you can turn these up louder. I do like that the price is $116, not $179. The range on these things are absolutely insane. I can be outside and leave my phone inside and go 150 feet, and for some reason they're still picking up. They connect to the phone just amazingly. The case is super easy to use, never had any issues with these things charging up, and they take about an hour and a half to charge everything up, you know, dead case and the earpieces. But I have noticed that the runtime on these definitely outlasts the Milwaukees, where you get a few hours of these and they start turning yellow. After a few hours of these, they're still ready to go and you still have tons of juice in them. So even though both great sets, you have to know who they're made for. Which one would I go for? I would go for the Dewalt. But if you're a Milwaukee IA fan, this is good for you too. However, I just think all in all, the package of this entire thing, the price, and just the ease of use on everything, I just think that they did a better job. But of course, I wanna know what you think. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know which one you like better, the Dewalts or the Milwaukee IAs. Have you tried either one of these? And if so, what do you think about them? Also got a real nice like video for you right there. Back with more videos soon.